let's dive into emotional expression, one of the key building blocks of emotional intelligence. Now in this video, we're going to look at the what, the why, and the how. How can we practically improve our skills in emotional expression? Now, emotional expression is our ability to communicate our emotions to ourselves and to others. And when I say ourselves, I mean acknowledging our emotions from our heart to our head, through our self-talk, through writing and journaling, through sports, through art, different forms of expression. And then communicating our emotions to others, to you on the other side of the screen, to our family, to our friends, to our colleagues. We can do that through verbal or nonverbal means. On to the why. Why am I learning about emotional expression? Well, let's get started with an analogy. Imagine you are this teapot. And in our day, our week, our life, we're filled with water. Now each bit of water represents an emotion. I'm feeling curious. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling joy. And there's going to be times in our life where the water is calm, we're at a good level of water, it's at the right temperature, we're able to hold all of that water well. But there are other times in our life where the water starts to build up. The emotions come in thick and fast. Fear, anger, stress, pressure. It starts to boil within us until it overflows. And as much as we try and keep a cap on it and try and keep all of our emotions contained, it still finds ways to overflow and seep out in ways that we don't want. So that's the first why for me. At different points in my life, I have internalized my emotions, I've bottled them up, I've tried to keep the cap on my emotions, and yet they've still found ways to burst out, to flow over, to seep out of those seams, and often in ways that I've regretted. And for me, emotional expression is the antidote to that. It helps me from overflowing with my emotions. It helps me release that pressure and reset myself to equilibrium. But on to the second why. And again, we're gonna head back to the teapot. So this is you. You have these beautiful, handsome blue polka dots. You have this stellar white woven in between all that, perfectly formed spout and a strong handle, and this great little top knot on your head. From the outside, from your appearance, you're looking fit, you're looking strong, you're looking healthy, effective, capable, and able to do all the tasks that you set out to do. But we don't know what's going on beneath the surface. And you might be feeling weak and diluted, having poured yourself between too many cups. You could have been brewing for a long time, getting darker and darker and darker and darker. Or you could be at that perfect temperature, that perfect flavor of sunshine and joy and delight. It's by pouring out some of the tea that we get an indication of flavor of what's going on beneath the surface. Now for me, that's the second why. Expressing my emotions to others, sharing what's going on beneath the surface is a delicious flavor of emotional intelligence because it allows the other person to understand what's going on within me. And that directly contributes to trusting, strong, healthy relationships, which is what I'm going for in my life. So how can we go ahead and start to improve our emotional expression? Well, the first step is in fact awareness. If we're not aware of our emotions, then we're going to have a very tough time expressing them. So I do have a video on this. You can head down into the description. There's a link in there with different tools and skills that you can use to improve your emotional awareness. But the first tool I want to share with us for emotional expression is a framework. I feel emotions when ... because ... What I need is boom, 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 boom. I feel frustrated when you don't show up to the meetings that we've agreed on because it makes it seem like you don't value the preparation and time that I've put into this. What I need is for you to show up to those meetings or let me know in advance that they're no longer relevant. Now, it's a simple framework, but it can really help us clarify our own thoughts and have that clear communication with others. Now, the next tool I want to share with you is a writing tool. It comes from Dan Carter, one of rugby's greatest players. If you don't know him, he's from New Zealand. He played on the All Blacks. Now, in his book, The Art of Winning, Dan Carter shares that before every game, he would take a moment to jot down his thoughts and his emotions. So let me read you one. I'm shitting myself. Very nervous. Playing with a team of champions versus the best team I've ever played. Preparation done. Just back my instincts and be positive. We can apply this tool into our lives right away. Before those pressureful situations, an interview, a first date, a big game yourself, we can just take a moment, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, just to write down a little bit about what we're thinking and what we're feeling. Clarifying our thoughts, letting them breathe, acknowledging them, so that we can go into that game, we can go into that situation as collected and ready as possible. The next strategy I want to share is the Dr. Pennebaker Strategy. And he's a professor at the University of Texas, and I'll link his research in the description below. What the strategy is that we spend 20 minutes for a minimum of 3 days, but you can do it longer, free writing. Writing down whatever comes to the top of your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, just going for it, just writing. And what this does is it gives us that outlet for our emotions so that we can acknowledge them, but when we can also clarify them. And again, as we've heard throughout this whole video, it gives us that time to express our emotions so that they don't build up within us, causing that pressure, but it has that release so that we can reset ourselves to equilibrium. And the last strategy I want to share is practice. And I know we do it in a lot of other disciplines, the perfect batting form or a specific shot in tennis or squash, specific chords or notes in music, or again, a specific procedure in medicine. The more we practice, then the better we'll get at it. And I'm not saying it gets easier being vulnerable, communicating our emotions. I still find that really hard, but we can become more effective, more efficient at finding the right times, communicating our emotions in the right way. So just inviting you and encouraging you to spend a bit of time practicing as well with different people, but also acknowledging your emotions to yourself. So those are a handful of tools that we can use to build our emotional expression, and links for all those are in the description below. And also, if you have any tools or strategies yourself that you use for emotional expression, please send them my way or drop them in the comments, because I'm always trying to collect and learn different emotional expression tools. Happy improving.